Wow, it has been a year since I posted anything on this channel. How quickly the time goes by, but I'm back, I'm ready. And well, I have been posting some shorts the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you noticed or you've paid any attention whatsoever, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about you. We're going to focus on why we're here. And the reason is because the chances are you offer some kind of transformation to the life of your client. You can create some kind of significant change, and it's time for you to get paid properly for that transformation. Become the trusted advisor. Maybe you work with individuals, maybe you work with companies, but here's what this channel is all about. It's been able to own it in terms of becoming the expert advisor for your particular marketplace. So if you want to stand out, and that's specifically what this video is going to be about, if you want to stand out in your area of expertise, then this video is going to be really useful for you. I'm just going to kind of flow with it. We'll take it from there. And at the end of the video, you know the score. Let me know below how this video has been useful for you. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet and you're thinking, what is this guy all about? He seems a bit crazy, then just hit the subscribe button and figure it all out later. Here's the reality is that we are now in this whole new world, which is interesting, right? And we've had a couple of years of a pandemic and we're starting to get through it. Some countries are still going through some craziness, but the reality is that over this last 2 years, we've had more time than ever before to reflect on how we live our life, to reflect on the relationships that we have, to reflect on everything. This is probably one of the reasons why I decided I'm not going to post anything on YouTube for a year, because I wanted to make sure that, I'm not going to talk about it right now. Let's talk about it another time. But here's the thing, right? I can almost guarantee that you've looked at your life in a certain way and said, I can do better. I can transform this area of my life. I can transform my health and fitness. I can step up in this other area, maybe my career or my business, whatever it is. The market has never been so open to transformation. I always say that we're not in the business of serving customers. You should serve your clients. That's what we do. You're in the business of transformation. And if you're not in the business of transformation and you don't care about creating some kind of real change in the life of your client, then this video is probably not for you, and this channel probably isn't for you either. But if you do and you want more of it, then of course you're in the right place. What I want to talk to you today about though is being known for something. Because here's the thing, is that if you were going to show up as the go-to expert, what defines an expert in the eyes of the client compared to everybody else? There's loads of psychology here, and I'm actually going to dedicate a lot of my videos here moving forward on this channel to truly what an expert is compared to everybody else, how you can become a go-to expert, or the fact is you're probably already an expert in what you do, you're just not getting paid properly for it, and the result is you're having to work far too hard, or you can't get a client, or you're fully booked, and it's all a nightmare. So we're going to focus here. We're going to focus on you having a few clients a month, offering some kind of powerful solution that you become known for in the marketplace. But as we start to peel back the layers here, the first thing I really wanted to talk to you about is, okay, if you're going to stand out, then what's going to make you different? Because that's the reality of business. The market doesn't value good, the market values rare. So what makes your expertise rare in the marketplace? Because the reality is, if your clients can go and replace you immediately, say they go and find somebody else who can coach them, or they find another beauty therapist, or they find another personal trainer, then your value just plummeted. However, the more rare your expertise is, then the more valuable you become. If you want to charge thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of dollars, whatever it is, for your expertise, and you should be charging that, then this video is all going to help you to do that. So step one in standing out is obviously charging properly, because the truth of the matter is, if you took 100 people or 100 experts in any field, you can take 100 guitar tutors, so they teach guitar, and you can ask every single one of them in the room, what makes you different? And the fact is that they might say, well, I'm passionate, or I teach bass guitar, or I teach on this type of guitar. Unfortunately, for 99 out of 100, it's going to make them sound all the same. So the first way to truly stand out is to charge a lot more money. That's just fact. Because most guitar tutors, at least in the UK, charge somewhere between, what, 30 to 60 quid an hour, I would imagine. I might be wrong, let me know if I'm wrong below. If you're asking all of them what makes them stand out, and they're all charging about the same price, it's very difficult to differentiate. Even if one of them has taught some celebrity, it doesn't really matter. But if one of them says, well, hold on a second, I charge £5,000 to help you become a rock star. I charge £5,000 to help you go from where you are now to playing the guitar with complete confidence. Now that's suddenly an individual that you go, I want to work with them. So of course, pricing properly is fundamental, and I will do a number of videos on this channel breaking down how we should be pricing moving forward. However, let's today dedicate our time to the second way that we stand out. So first is charging properly. And by the way, here's a hint for you. How much should you charge? As much as you humanly can, because nobody charges enough, and whatever you think is as much as you can probably still isn't enough. However, the client still has to get 10 times the value, and the value is not what you do for the client, the value is in the results that your client achieves. We'll talk about all of this another time. So charge as much as you can, but make sure the client gets 10 times the value. Moving on, this is what I want to talk to you specifically in this video about, being known for your methodology. If you're an expert, and what determines an expert over everybody else is that clearly you've been on a journey yourself and you've been either able to solve a specific problem in your own life, your own career, or you've been able to help many people over the years. I specialize in sales transformation. What makes me an expert in sales and not like every other sales trainer is that I've got 20 plus years of teaching sales. And even that doesn't make me an expert, but actually over the years, I've seen the patterns of what works in terms of helping an individual or a business to truly create sales transformation. Now, that means that I've created my own unique methodology. So this might be an idea to write this down or whatever you need to do, unique methodology, because the unique way that you help people is everything. And also it makes it understandable and it gives you a clear differentiator. It's all about being different. So my unique method is what I call the ultimate sales method. And even though I've taught sales for 2 decades, I've realized that it comes down to a few things, and I can go extremely deep into all of those areas, but I can categorize everything I teach into one of these 3 things. Number 1, having a powerful solution. So that means that you solve a specific problem and you offer a solution to the marketplace that you become famous for, maybe not worldly famous, but certainly famous within your client base and within your network, within your community. You offer just that one solution. Number 2 is you become a revenue generator. So that means that you have an ability and a capacity to increase your earning power, and then also to be able to bring in new clients, new customers on demand. So every month you can look at it and say, I'm capable this month because I've got the skill set, I've got the ability, I've got the mentality and the strategy in place to truly go out there and generate whatever the amount is for you. Maybe it's 2 grand, maybe it's 20 grand, maybe it's 50 grand, who knows? So this is me sharing my method. And then number 3 is what I call unbreakable consultations. In essence, the conversation you have with the client is everything. We're always looking for these new ways to bring in new clients, but the reality is if you can just have a better conversation with the clients you've already got, well, that's going to put you in a really strong position. So this is my methodology, and it's called the ultimate sales method. Powerful solution, revenue generator, unbreakable consultations. And everything I teach goes within this. Not only does this allow me to have some consistency in my brand, and that's very important because consistency, you look at any brand like Starbucks, you look at Apple, you look at Rolls-Royce, any brand that's successful, they have a high level of consistency. That's the difference between a professional and everybody else. You take the professional in a sports match, they're very consistent in how they hit the ball. You take an amateur in a Sunday league game, they're going to be inconsistent in how they kick the ball or whatever it is. So it's the same in your business too. Have you got a unique method, a way that you truly help people to succeed? What is your method? Why have you created or discovered or come across this method? Like, where did it all, what's the story behind it? And the more that you can focus on your unique methodology, the more you can start to extract the value that you already have. I know already that if you're in business that you're undercharging. Like, it's fact. You're probably sitting there being like, yeah, that's totally me. And if you're undercharging, that has to change. And it has to change for a number of reasons, which I'll share all of those reasons in future YouTube videos on this channel. But the fact is, right now, you need to be charging at least double, if not triple, probably times 10 the amount. And I'm being serious about this. If you're not charging thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars for your solution, then there's something missing in your business. Now, you might say, well, Pete, I don't want to do that. I just want to offer small solutions at say £50 or £100, or I want to have an ongoing membership site. All of those are fantastic too. I have a number of low ticket programs that people can go through, but they sell automatically. I shouldn't be having sleepless nights thinking, how am I going to sell my next £99 program? They happen in the background, and all my SEO and all the work that the business does, the processes, takes care of that. But I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about you and the most valuable thing in your business, which is your expertise. It's funny because we believe and we've been conditioned that we're not the value. And this is why, if you take one industry, let's take beauty therapists. You look at these beauty therapists and these salons that are out there. Did you know that they invest tens of thousands in the latest machine that's going to help you look a little bit younger? Or they get started with a new product range that they need to buy a minimum order of 10 grand just to get started with that stock. But meanwhile, when it comes to the most valuable thing, which is their expertise, they don't charge for that. They're willing to charge for treatments, they're willing to charge for all of these other things, but when it comes to their expert advice, they just give that away for free. So in essence, what they're left charging for is the commodity within their business, as opposed to where the real value is, which is your deep level of expertise, your experiences, how you specifically help your clients with your unique methodology. Because you can't copy that. You can copy treatments. Down the road, they can offer treatments at a slightly discounted rate. Down the road, they can offer a different product range with some slightly better benefits. So all of that is very much the commodity. I'm not saying that there's no value to it, but the fact is you're not paid for your hands, you're paid for your mind. So if you're going to show up and create a real transformation in the life of your client, a significant change, then it comes back to trusting the most important thing, which is your expertise. And when we start to flesh that out, we realize that my expertise comes down to my unique methodology, how I specifically help people. Maybe you help your clients over 3 to 6 months and you've realized the best way to help them is that you need to see them every other week, and perhaps a part of that appointment is you do an ongoing diagnosis and nobody else does that. For me, when it comes to unbreakable consultations, which is the third part of my methodology, I make sure that anybody going through that is practicing it, and that breaks it down even further. When you've been teaching sales for a lot of years, plus 30,000 people, you start to see what works and what doesn't. And one of the things that I've seen that doesn't work is that sales can't just be taught through theory. So anybody who wants to engage in my training and go through any of my programs, they have to practice again and again and again. And that all helps to form my unique methodology and ultimately helps me to stand out in the marketplace. I see it all too often today where people are worried about being copied. Oh, that person down the road is copying me and this other person is copying the offer that I put out last month. So what? That's called life. But the fact is, you know, the one thing that somebody can't copy, they cannot copy you. They cannot copy your deep level of expertise. They cannot copy that you've discovered a unique methodology in the way that you help people. But it's up to you to take full accountability. And if you've got this unique method in the way that you do things, to celebrate that and market that, and to let your clients know that you're taking the business in a slightly different direction where you're going to be serving them on a deeper level. And actually, you're going to be focusing on your unique methodology. So if you're wondering what are the basics of getting this methodology in place, because there's a lot more that I can share, I'll just share it in future videos. Well, here's what it isn't. It isn't coming up with some clever way that you can help people that you've never thought of before. In actuality, the opposite is true. It will be something that you've done again and again and again over the years, but maybe until right now, you haven't realized it. So you've never called it a unique methodology and you haven't celebrated it and you haven't talked about it. You've just gone on and helped people in the way that you have. That's what happened to me. For the first 15 years of teaching sales, nobody told me that I needed a unique methodology, so I just kept teaching sales. And it was only when I went into one particular business and on that day, they just weren't getting what was being shared in the training room. And it was really frustrating because I always thought I was pretty good at helping people quickly. And by the end of the day, they could walk away and they could have that breakthrough. But on this particular day, it just wasn't happening. And then I realized that I'm overcomplicating it because I haven't got a simple method that they can follow. And it was actually one of the people in the room, they said, Pete, you always talk about consultations, and have you got a method behind that? And I said, yeah, I've got my 5 steps methodology, which is a part of the bigger method. And they went, oh, I get that. And then I thought to myself as I walked away from that day, all I need to do is talk about these few things. Number 1, have a powerful solution, be known for something. Number 2 is become a revenue generator. And number 3, make sure that your consultations are absolutely watertight and unbreakable. And whenever somebody messages me, which happens still about once a week, saying, hey Pete, I saw this person trying to copy you, it doesn't bother me because there's too many moving parts and too many nuances and intricate details for it all to be copied. And the truth is that even if they tried, good luck, because they can't go into all the details and look at things from a 4-dimensional point of view. Let's go back to what I said earlier. The market doesn't value, your clients don't value what is good. They value what is rare. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got to be good at what you do. That is fundamental. But most importantly, you've got to take what's rare about you. Don't be the rare diamond that's a diamond in the rough that nobody can find. Instead, bring that diamond to light, scrub it up, and then start to realize that you've already been helping people for a number of years, perhaps decades, and you haven't yet put it into a unique methodology. And then the great thing about having a methodology is that you can create a visual behind it. So my methodology has been flashing up on the screen throughout this process. Number 2 is that your clients can easily understand your methodology. Number 3 is that when they easily understand your methodology, they're going to buy into your methodology before they even meet you, because now you're becoming famous, at least within your community and client base, for your unique methodology. Number 4 is that then you get to a point where others start to talk about your methodology and you start to get invites to speak on podcasts about it, to write articles. And before you know it, when you Google the problem that you solve, your methodology comes up as one of the main ways that can help people. So you don't need to overcomplicate this. There's so much more as well that I can share. I'm just holding back a little bit in this video now. I appreciate that this has been a huge amount of information just in this one video. So put your thoughts below. Let me know how you got on with this. And I'm excited because I want to know what your unique method is. And I'm going to continue to help you to build your expert business where you can be paid properly for your advice and not be back to back with clients because you're only selling the commoditized version of your product, or the other end of the spectrum where you're struggling to get a single client because you're not different in the marketplace. And instead, what we're going to do is we're going to thread the needle and we're going to find your positioning in the marketplace. And that starts with, yes, charging properly and also having your unique methodology. Thank you so much for being here on my first YouTube back in like a year, and I'll see you in the next one.